I'm live. I'm live. Hi. Okay. So this morning I walked my daughter to school and I had a doctor's appointment. And because I had a doctor's appointment and I knew I was going to be out there walking, I decided that I was going to stop a few places to get some job applications. Now, I lost my train of thought. Okay, yeah. Anxiety, autism, meltdowns, all that. When it comes to job seeking and actually working a 9-to-5 job, someone like me with autism. Okay, my biggest issue, I think, is my ADHD at this point. And I don't know how much of it is actually ADHD and how much of it is anxiety related or CPTSD related. I'm not positive because I'm always very energetic, and I do have difficulty focusing. So that's the only reason I've determined it's ADHD. I don't want to go to mental health and get a diagnosis for that stuff because all they want to do is give you Ritalin or Adderall and all that shit, and it's not anything I'm looking for right now. So I just want to be able to control that with my diet and whatnot. But that's not really, actually, it might be possible now because they did raise my food stamp. Up until now, it's been difficult for me to cater to a gluten-free diet, a lactose-free diet, and any diet specific to someone who does have anxiety, someone who does have ADHD, and someone who does have sleep disorders. So, and digestive problems. Those are all things that my diet affects, and and a lot of that is difficult to achieve and maintain when you don't have enough money for food. Up until I think last year, people like me, SSI recipients, weren't able to receive food stamps. Last year, they started allowing us also to receive food stamps. So up until last year, I was paying $200 out of my Social Security check each month to provide food for myself. So now that I have food stamps, I'm in a state that has lower benefits, but it is also a lower cost of living. But it still is not enough to because it's been the Christmas season and I've been gifted like gift cards and things like that. I've had the chance to, and I've been given money for Christmas. I've been given the chance to splurge on myself. I got my hair extensions back in, and I got my piercings. Because of the holiday season, I was able to splurge on my daughter and myself. She got her cameras, things that we wanted, but it's a very rare occasion. We were blessed by. We were blessed for the holidays. We were certainly blessed with our bikes. We were blessed with a lot of things. Anyhow, the whole point is that getting out and getting a job is difficult. And today I posted it on my Twitter. I posted a video expressing how encouraged I was by what I came across this morning. Like, there's been a few places that I've gone and I've considered getting an application, but I never really asked for the application until I was able to actually kind of scope it out a little bit, I guess. Someone like me whose needs are sensitive, when you need, because I had considered Golden Corral, which is a restaurant out here. I'm not sure everyone has a Golden Corral in their neighborhood, but Golden Corral, it's like a buffet, kind of like Boston Market, but not. It's similar, but you can. I don't know. At Boston Market, can you sit down and eat? I don't remember. Anyways, it's just a buffet style restaurant, and I've gone maybe a couple times since I've been back, and so I determined that wouldn't be a good fit for me because it does sometimes get pretty busy. It does get pretty crowded and pretty noisy. And the times that I went, I was with family, so for the most part, I was comfortable. And then towards the end, I do get ready to go. Like I start to get overwhelmed and I'm just ready to go. And so then any activities after that are usually seem to have been not anything I was interested in because I just wanted to get home. So I had to consider my experiences actually going as a customer and then compare that to what it would be like to actually be an employee. And so Golden Corral was kind of X'd off my list because it would probably start to become overwhelming. I'd have to actually interact with people. I'd have to have myself out there on a whole different level. And it's not necessarily anything I could escape from if I get to a point of meltdown or overstimulation. Needless to say, I did scope out Jack in the Box. I've applied it at Subway. I've applied at a coffee shop, a local coffee shop here. The coffee shop I did today, and Jack in the Box I will be doing today, and the Subway I had done a few months ago, or a couple months ago, and hopefully I will be hearing back for an interview at the end of this week. But the whole point is that when you have needs that are sensitive like mine, attention deficit, it doesn't even have to be hyperactive. Attention deficit, sometimes it makes it difficult or dangerous for some people to be on certain jobs, like cooking, for instance. A line chef or a sous chef, anyone that's near hot open flames or anything. I mean, sometimes someone with ADHD is not a safe person to have that job. So me, I'm very safety oriented when it comes to cooking. And I think that's because I've had so many mishaps. So I'm very conscious certain times that this is the times probably that I'm most prone to accident, which is like any activity other than watching TV or reading a book, probably. Needless to say. Yeah, so like line cook or sous chef or something like that is not necessarily anything that I would want to do, that I would feel comfortable doing now because safety reasons, like, and when I get into a, not necessarily even a public setting, but just even behind the scene, like inside a restaurant kitchen, it's still stressful and overwhelming for me to a certain degree until I'm actually very comfortable and confident in myself and my performance. So, and when you have people looking over your shoulder or people working with you, even if they're not looking over your shoulder, I still tend to feel like I'm being watched, and it makes it very uncomfortable for me to perform my duties and to be confident with my performance, because I'm always questioning myself. Am I doing this right? And even if I know I'm doing it right, until I'm actually comfortable with my performance, it's not anything that I would feel safe doing, like being a line cook or a chef. So I have to consider those things. But today I was really encouraged because I saw a lot of people that are like me, but it was much more evident. Maybe like, okay, you can look at me and say, you look otherwise healthy. And unless you actually interact with me, you don't notice any of my, and you have to interact with me. And by interact with me, I mean on an extended amount of time, not just like, hi, bye, nice to meet you kind of thing. It's you have to interact with me a few times, and then for an extended amount of time to actually see some of my behaviors. So, but anyways, as I was applying for these jobs, I noticed that there were people that were more, I don't want to say disabled. I just want to say different, because I feel like there are differences. And the more we focus on disabilities, the less we focus on ability. And then by focusing on ability, we empower ourselves. By focusing on disability, we limit ourselves. And so I don't want to let myself do that to myself or anyone else. So I say difference. So if you ever get lost as to why I'm calling it a difference and not a disorder, that's why. So their difference was a bit more obvious, and that was encouraging to me that they were there working independently. They weren't like being shadowed. They weren't. And it was encouraging to me because I'm like, okay, well, if this person here has a much more obvious difference than mine, albeit there's no way for me to judge how that person's different affects them, or if we have even remotely close to the same difference, but just the fact that they had a difference was encouraging to me because it was outwardly evident. And but they were still there working, and they were still being accepted as an employee, and they didn't look like they were being shadowed. They didn't seem like they were being that they were stumbling over anything, that it seemed like they were there working and it was easy for them. And so that was encouraging to me. So I went ahead and got the information to apply for that job at Jack in the Box. But I also saw that at the coffee shop as well. The person who gave me the application, very, very quiet, very reserved. I could tell there was a difference that most people probably would not have noticed, but it's just a very subtle difference, but obviously a difference. And so that was encouraging to me. So I really want to get my ass out there and get a job. And I really want to be able to work with people and around people without getting to the point where I'm overwhelmed and overstimulated. So that's what I wanted to make this video about, was expressing how encouraged I was to see people with differences and disabilities, I hate that word, out there working, because that helps me to realize, it helps me to know, it gives me, I already said it a billion times. One more time, Amber. Aside from that, if you are able to be aware of yourself, I think before someone who has meltdowns, who is in a stage, or not a stage, but in a point of their life or their difference that they're having a lot of trouble with overstimulation or meltdowns, I don't think that this video's for them. Like, I don't want to encourage people to go out and look for jobs or even get a job if you're in one of those positions in life where you are frequently having meltdowns, and where because I used to push myself. Even when I was having meltdowns and overstimulated, I was pushing myself because I felt it was expected of me. I felt that I needed it, so that, I mean, and technically speaking, I really did. I really needed financial security other than social supplemental security income to get other things done rather than just survive. But at that point, because I was so overstimulated, I could only just survive, and I had to accept that rather than putting myself in a position to where I kept pushing myself beyond my limits, and then therefore exposing me to too much too fast and worsening my anxiety. So that being said, now that I've come to a situation where I'm comfortable and I feel safer, maybe not comfortable all the time, but I feel much safer here. I'm not being abused for the most part. I mean, there are a few little instances that I would consider situations. That's irrelevant. I feel much safer here and now than I did out there. My daughter is with me. I do know she's safe at all times. I can call the school whenever I need. If I'm concerned about her, she can call me whenever she needs. If she's concerned about me, there's an open line of communication between us. And I know that she's safe at all times. So a lot of the problems that I was disabled by in California are not present here. And therefore I have much more of an opportunity to be able to get out and do things. I just don't want to. I have developed a lot of anxieties that I didn't have before. And so that's not interfering, but it's definitely having a certain extent of influence on where I look for jobs, how I look for jobs, what jobs I'm open to trying, because I do want to be very, very aware of myself and my limits. Like I said, when I look for a job, I've attempted to case the joints, case them out, observe how they operate, observe how the employees handle things and how they interact with each other, observe if there's anything that bothers me as a customer or overstimulates me as a customer, well, then there's probably more than likely going to be something that will bother me as an employee, because it's not anything you can just walk out of. So that's important when you have ADHD or autism or anxiety, social anxiety, especially other disorders that affect your interaction with other people or your ability to maintain your composure when interacting with other people. So that being said, after you've cased the joints, that sounds so funny. After you've cased the joints and you've determined that it's a good candidate, well, then you can apply and go through the process of slowly but surely getting yourself back out there into the work field, workforce, whatever. But yeah, I'm excited. I'm encouraged by a lot of what I saw today. Everyone was very nice to me, very helpful, and didn't even know it. I was just there to observe and then to decide if I wanted to apply. And so I did. And yes, today's been a good day so far. So I woke up this morning a little bit upset, I think. I did have a pretty emotional conversation with a family member, and there are some things going on family-wise, but all in due time. I just got to remember to keep my mind open and my heart open, and maintain my ability to understand. We're all hurting, and we've all been through a lot. So that being said, it's still possible to get your butt out there and get a job. I have not yet, but I'm not giving up hope. I'm not giving up hope. And it was, like I said, especially encouraging to see people a lot like me, even more so outwardly. It was more so outwardly obvious. The flip. Evident. More outwardly evident. Sounds like a double. No, that's not. Okay, anyways. Irrelevant. Again. I just had like a banana and coffee smoothie, and apparently caffeine and pepperoni and grilled cheese sandwiches are not a good mix for attention deficit. So that being said, I'm going to go finish my lunch. Thank you for watching. I wanted to get that information out there. Hopefully it was understandable and not so random and that you don't get any benefit from it. But if not, if so, if you would like a better video about this content, I didn't really sit down and plan this out. So if you'd like a better video about the subject, go ahead and leave a comment down below, or whatever. I don't know. Right now it's live chat, but I don't know if it's open or not. Hi, whoever's watching. Thank you for behaving. I appreciate it. That being said, everybody have a lovely day. Like, share, comment. Feel free to do as you please. Again, please remain not abusive. You're free to share your opinions, your comments, your questions, and I'm really difficult to insult or offend, but as soon as I do detect any form of emotional, verbal, or, well, obviously there's no physical abuse online, but I will but I will block you if I do determine that anything you're saying or, yeah, is abusive. Anywho, have a great day. Remember to be gentle with each other. Like, share, comment. And for the billionth time, have a great day. I am. Thank you for watching.